can put it on the board. Yes!
I'm not even exaggerating. This might be the best video on the internet of all time. Welcome back to Starting Nine. I'm your host, Jared Carrabis. We got Dallas Braden out in LA, where the World Series will be clinched in just a small amount of time by the Boston Red Sox. Dallas, I'm surprised at you. You know, we've already talked on Dialed In with Dallas Braden. We've talked on Starting Nine, the podcast. Go download, rate, subscribe. Dan is now trying to distract me behind the camera. It won't work. If I did this during one of his shows, he would literally be in tears. But I'm gonna power through it.
He'd probably be on the ground, rolling around, agonizing about his back or some shit.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So Dallas, you've kind of jumped on the Dodgers bandwagon pretty hard here in the early going.
I don't know if it's a jumped on the Dodgers bandwagon or not, Jared. I don't know if you could say that. I just feel like the Dodgers probably have a really good shot at winning the World Series.
Yeah.
A really good shot.
Oh God, I don't like half of this. I can't. Like, part of me I'm really curious, right? If I was a Minnesota Twins fan, how gung ho would you be about the Dodgers in this World Series? Like, I'm genuinely curious about that.
You know, I feel like if you were a Minnesota Twins fan, I would want the Twins to do well. I know that for a fact. I mean, I've got friends on the Red Sox. I've got a lot of love for my man AC Alex Cora.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, Jared. It's something about this time of year. Maybe it's this team, this Dodger team, me being in LA. Lord knows I've gotten to watch all of the Dodger baseball I can handle all year long because there are no TV rights issues or anything like that. So I don't know. It might just be, maybe it's just my newfound love for the Dodgers recently.
Yeah, maybe. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But a little bit of a farewell to my Milwaukee Brewers. Hell of a year. Nothing to hang your head about. Christian Yelich, soon to be MVP. You go down the list of names. There are plenty of guys that you can talk about on this Brewers team that had outstanding seasons. Josh Hader becoming a household name. Travis Shaw moving positions and hitting 30 bombs. Mike Moustakas coming over, making a huge impact. This was a great team this year. They won the most games in the National League. They blew by the Cubs. They won the NL Central in a game 163. It was a very impressive year for my Milwaukee Brewers. So if you're a Brewers fan watching this, it's okay. We'll be back next year. On to the Dodgers.
It's just tough that it's tough that Christian Yelich didn't have the NL MVP performance.
He hit a home run in Game 7. He hit a home run in Game 7.
Yeah, one knock, Game 7. You know, what was his batting average, Jared?
It's 2018. Who's talking about batting average? Especially in a small sample size.
The
batting average over a
which
7-game series.
He was hitting the baseball in a really important period of time. You know, like. I feel like if he got 20 at-bats, you would want to know if he got, I don't know, 8 hits in those 20 at-bats, 10 hits in those 20 at-bats, or no hits. Like, you would want to know that. And if there was a number I could give you that just very quickly gave you some insight to that, I feel like you would want that. So that's
sure. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the Brewers still got with them one game of the World Series. Christian Yelich still hit a home run in Game 7. The Brewers almost got there. And they will be better next year. They will be better next year. I made the prediction on Starting Nine, the podcast. I said that this offseason they go out and trade for JT Realmuto. I don't think that that's like a big scale tipper, but it certainly puts them in a position to be better next year. You take Woodruff out of the bullpen, you put him in the rotation. Maybe you sign a starter. I don't know. But I can guarantee you, Dallas Braden, the Milwaukee Brewers will be back. We will be back. On to the Urias.
Let's see.
Tribute. He lost his grandmother before Game 7. Went out there and pitched anyway in Game 7, a game that the Dodgers went on to win, obviously, to get to the World Series. And a nice little tribute from his teammates after the game.
Hey guys, we all know how hard it's been for Julio. It's been a long road to be here with us.
Hell yeah.
Not only did he go back-to-back for the first time in his life, but for those who don't know, I want to make a toast because his grandma passed last night, and he came in today and got us the biggest out of the game.
Hell yeah! That's right.
A really cool gesture, obviously, right there by his teammates to acknowledge that. It was kind of like I mean, that's the good teams do stuff like that. The good teams that bond and they mesh and they're treated each other like family. That's kind of how that works. I'm sure, Dallas, you can speak to that more than anybody on this show.
Well, it does. It just gives you some insight as to what this plight actually means to these men in this room. And it's impacted by guys who spend all season in the big leagues. It's impacted by guys who are there incrementally. I mean, this is a guy who was left off the Division Series roster and now finds his way to the Championship Series roster, finds his way to the World Series roster. So you understand that at some point in time, your number can be called. We live a life as well outside of what just happens on the baseball field. So this is a close-knit group that I'm sure down the stretch only became closer with little things just like this, those trials and tribulations you encounter as a ball club that the outside world isn't necessarily privy to. That's what allowed these guys to mesh even more. And Jared, I think that's just another glimpse into a clubhouse that is really together, really bonded, Jared, and they're headed in one direction, the same direction.
Yeah.
Scary ball club.
There's so much dissension in the ranks in Boston, and these guys, they don't get along at all. I mean, it's all anyone's ever talking about, really. It's just they can't get along. They're definitely not a close-knit group, 100%.
No, not at all. We're just talking about how strong and unified this Dodger front
I'm
appears
glad.
to be.
I'm happy to see it. Happy to see it. That's what it takes to get to the World Series, like the Red Sox did, winning 108 games, having the best record in baseball, and dusting a 100 and 103
regular
win team
games.
to get
Those
there.
were regular games.
Oh, no, we were talking about the postseason after that, when they beat the two best teams in baseball other than them to get to the World Series. So let's talk about that World Series, though. It's Chris Sale, it's Clayton Kershaw, Game 1, two of the best pitchers on the planet. This is what you pay the big bucks to see. Game 1, you got Sale, who's had his injury problems. You got Kershaw, who's out there at fucking midnight last night, throwing a bullpen without a baseball because he just really tries so hard, and that's really cool. You got to visualize it first. Dallas, who do you give the edge to in Game 1 of the World Series, Tuesday night, Fenway Park, Kershaw, Sale, Red Sox, Dodgers?
The edge is going to the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw coming off of one of his best performances, his biggest games, right, of his career, continuing to silence the critics that have said that Clayton Kershaw just cannot get it done in bonus baseball, in postseason play. He continues to silence those critics. I feel like Clayton Kershaw is clear-cut going to be the deciding factor when Sale and Kershaw square off. We're talking about a Chris Sale who nobody's really sure what you're going to get. Is the shoulder going to hold up? Is the belly button going to calm down long enough for him to generate a fire in that belly that doesn't require penicillin? I don't know, Carrabis. You don't know. Alex Cora doesn't know. So we're sort of at that impasse where he very well could, Chris Sale, be the dominant factor that you'd like him to be. But if we're going based on what we've kind of experienced in recent history, it's a Chris Sale who went out to the mound last time without a couple things, Jared. Without a fastball.
That's not true.
Without his command.
You're talking velocity
and he
or
might have went out
accuracy?
there. He might have went out there with a belly button ring, Jared. So we're not exactly sure what to expect.
Are you talking velocity or accuracy? He didn't go out there without a fastball. He's still throwing 94.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that is a fastball, but that's not Chris Sale's fastball. You know what I mean?
Like if not his fastball. I mean, there's a big difference between 94 and 96. 100%. Yeah. But if you go out there with 94, you're not throwing slop. 94 is a good fastball.
No, but if you're Chris Sale, that's the thing is if you're Chris Sale, you are. Because we saw what happens when you don't have your best fastball and you don't have your best breaking ball. Well, he was effectively wild. Do you know what that means, Jared, or you want me to break that down for you? He just couldn't command the fastball because it wasn't his fastball. The breaking ball suffered. He was frankly a shell of himself out there and was effectively wild and was able to navigate, albeit very, very roughly, 4 innings of one-hit baseball.
Yeah,
so
one-hit baseball.
The free passes, Jared, 4 of them, equaled runs, which were more runs than his team scored, which means if Chris Sale goes out there with less than Chris Sale's stuff, it typically doesn't work out.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's not like the Red Sox lost that game because of Chris Sale. The big blow came against the bullpen. Urias with the 3-run home run in the late innings. It was still a winnable game. Chris Sale didn't cost him the game. And the other factor that you didn't mention here, the weather. It's going to be like 42 and rainy. I mean, that's going to affect Chris Sale, but I'm pretty sure Clayton Kershaw, Mr. West Coast, Mr. Warm Weather, also has to pitch in the shitty Boston weather. So this is going to be something that affects both pitchers, something to keep an eye on. Something else to keep an eye on, like you mentioned, Chris Sale's belly button. He described that he was hospitalized. Irritation from a belly button ring, constantly taking it in and out caused the irritation. So this is Chris Sale fucking with the media. This is not a guy that's just going to give you answers that you're looking for. He's not a guy that's going to give you in-depth answers. You know, you had back in the Yankees series, you had Johnny Miller, the legend, ask Chris Sale, hey, Chris, can you talk about your success against the Yankees this year? And he said, no. No, I won't, because I'm not going to give the Yankees bulletin board material. He's not a fucking idiot like the Yankees and Aaron Judge are. He's not a fucking idiot like Alex Bregman giving the Red Sox bulletin board material. He's just not that guy. So you want some dirt? It's not going to come from Chris Sale. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Jared, I just landed him, and it's the same one that Chris Sale landed. He bit it hook, line, and sinker. Our man Carrabis went out and got that belly dressing. Jared.
I'd fuck him.
What in the actual fuck are you thinking? What are you thinking? And we got to address this. We got to address the midsection, Carrabis.
Yeah.
We've got to address it. Go on any longer. Do you know you are dangerously close to KFC combine body? Don't do it. You're better than that. And that belly button ring, that's drawing attention to some things that maybe it shouldn't, Jared. I'm just saying.
Would you like me to counter?
I mean, if you have one.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably like the best. I would say like it's probably like Francis and then me in terms of fitness in this office. I'm not even close to Couch Clancy. Don't even get me started. Look at the hip V. That's a handsome fella right there that fucks 1,000%. Number two, Dallas. Wait your turn. Number 2. That is a fake earring. That is a fake earring, Dallas. Hubs is a very stupid person. He wrote this whole blog being like, oh, Carrabis, you fell for it, you went and got it. No, I knew he was joking. And then I also did this joke where I went to the Halloween store and I got some fake earrings, stuck it on there, took a picture, 1 million impressions on Twitter later. Here we are. It's a great joke. It's a great joke.
Do you still have it? Is it still there?
Sure isn't, because it wasn't real.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I
Yeah.
believe you.
I feel like a lot of people didn't believe me, which is weird. I mean, I guess that's almost a compliment that many people believe me, because it's almost like, yeah, you love your team that much that you would do that.
It's not a compliment at all. They shortchanged you, Jared. I would be offended.
No,
they shortchanged you.
No, I think it's a compliment. It's more like this guy is so crazy and he loves his team so much that he would do anything for his team, which I would. I mean, even just having that picture out there is as bad as getting the piercing done. Like, people are going to tweet that at me for the rest of my life. I understand that. But all I know is that I'm married to the game, Dallas, the blog game. And you know what we do in the blog game? We get clicks. And you know what that fucking tweet did? Numbers. Over 1 million of them. Count them up. That's how you do it. Take notes, Dallas.
You're a big double clicker, I know.
Mookie Betts, when they go to the National League ballpark, this is not one of those situations where you have David Ortiz and nowhere to put him in a National League ballpark. Oh, you can put him at first base, but now you got to sit Mike Napoli, or you got to sit Kevin Millar, or you got to sit whoever the fuck, Kevin Youkilis over to third base, and you got to deal with Mike Lowell. It's not one of those situations. Dustin Pedroia out for the entire year. You can easily take Mookie Betts, put him at second base, stick JD Martinez out in right field, boom, problem solved. The lineup doesn't suffer at all. That's what you got to do. Like, if you're Alex Cora, That's what you got to do. Sure, you're risking injury, I guess, with Mookie Betts at second base. You never know if fucking douchebag Manny Machado is going to clean him out on a double play or something like that. You never know. But I think, for the most part, this is the smartest thing to do. This is the time to do it.
That's the route to go. You take advantage. Yeah, you take advantage of Mookie Betts' athleticism. He's been there. He's done that. All right, granted, one game at second base this season, but this is. We all know that Mookie came up as a middle infielder, so he's got that club in the bag. How well he hits that club is another story, but you're not just throwing some rando out there praying to God he can defend himself. Yeah. That's not the case. He's serviceable, more than serviceable there. But this is an effort that is going to have to be seen through to get your best lineup out there day in, day out, especially in this ballpark in the NL. That has to happen. I really don't think there's another way to go about that.
There isn't. There isn't, unless Alex Cora is so confident in the Red Sox offense that he's like, yeah, we can, fuck it. We'll sit JD, who had 43 home runs and 130 RBIs in the World Series. You just can't do it. And Mookie Betts is the league MVP. Can't not have him in the lineup. So yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. But since we're on the subject of offenses, let's compare offenses. The Dodgers, the Red Sox, looking up and down these lineups, even with the DH. I mean, the Dodgers have a long lineup. There's a lot of guys in this lineup that can do some serious damage here. Dallas, you just get it over with. Are you going to say that the Dodgers have the better lineup?
Deep. They're deep, Jared. They are deep because either one of those guys down.
I already said that they have a deep lineup, but who has the better lineup?
I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to say the Dodgers have a overall better lineup. I feel like the Red Sox lineup is probably more potent, but I mean, you know, Mitch Moreland doesn't necessarily.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Ian Kinsler doesn't necessarily.
What are we doing here, Dallas?
At this point in time,
the Red Sox have the better lineup. It's not even close. They led the majors in every fucking statistical category imaginable. There's no debate. It's okay. I know that you have the Dodgers in 5. We understand. We see the blue that you're wearing. It's great. I'm wearing black for your fucking funeral after this series is over. If you look at the numbers straight across the board, the Red Sox have the best offense in baseball. You put them up against any other lineup, the Red Sox are the correct answer to that question. There's no bias to that opinion. It's just a fact. Pick a statistic. The Red Sox fucking lead the majors in it from an offensive standpoint. So let's shift the conversation to a different topic where, you're probably going to pick the Dodgers, and I don't think that that's an unbiased opinion. So let's talk rotations.
Let's talk rotation. Clayton Kershaw, deal fest. Ryu, deal fest. Yeah, sure, a little rocky as of late. Walker Buehler, that guy is waiting for the big moment, hunting the big moment, Carrabis. Walker Buehler wants every bit of the star-studded fame that comes along with being a baller out here in Tinseltown. That young man is poised to start cashing fucking checks. Rich Hill, salty vet. He's going to go out and battle for you. I have to believe that this rotation outweighs a ailing Chris Sale, a David Price, who frankly has started to silence those doubters as well, has thrown the ball great. Rick Porcello, not so much.
I mean, have you been
Nathan
watching?
Eovaldi?
Where are these opinions coming from? Chris Sale, even when he was hurt, only gave up 1 hit. David Price dominated the Astros over 6 innings. Nathan Eovaldi, arguably the best pitcher in the fucking postseason this year. He's been blowing 102 by guys. And then Rick Porcello has pitched some gems too. I'm not saying that I'm picking the Red Sox, but I think if I said that it's a push, that's not a biased take. I feel like it's like, okay, those 4 guys, the Red Sox 4 guys versus the Dodgers 4 guys makes for a great series. There's no heavy favorites in any direction. Like, you have guys that cancel each other out. They're both deep. You have, on both sides, you have 4 starters that give you a chance to win.
So let's play this game. Let's play this game real quick. If they cancel each other out, what would you go? Sale, Kershaw, cancel out.
Yep.
Eovaldi, who? Ryu?
I would say I would give the advantage to Eovaldi over Ryu. Yeah, I mean, Ryu's had a great, what is it, 8 innings his first start of the postseason, but he's been inconsistent. There's been no inconsistency with Eovaldi. If that's your matchup right there, which it's not, Price is going in game 2. And then again, you don't know what you're going to get from Price, but we've seen how dominant now he can be in the postseason. So it's kind of a wait-and-see thing there. But I guess it's kind of a wait-and-see thing with Ryu. He's been good. He's been bad.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. I just feel like, and also, as we'll move into the bullpen conversation, I feel like those starters and how they're used and whether or not they're used affects this next topic, which is the bullpen comparisons, Carrabis, because when you think about the body of work for the entire season for bullpens, Kenley Jansen having not been there for as long as you would like to have seen him there, he dealt with some heart issues early on, right? But two guys right there at the top of the order there, Maeda and Alex Wood, former starters, and then you go down to the bottom, Urias, who's also on this lineup, former starter as well. I feel like they've got 3 guys right there.
Ryan Madsen's still pumping smoke too.
For sure, but Maeda, Wood, and Urias give you the opportunity to get some length out of 3 guys. I don't know that the Red Sox bullpen features 3 guys that could give you 3 innings each if necessary.
That's
just
not
don't.
true. I mean,
because
Joe Kelly's
you're not handing the ball to Workman for 3 innings. That ain't happening.
Eduardo
Joe
Rodriguez,
Kelly's not getting the ball for
Joe
3
Kelly,
innings.
you can. Sure. Yeah.
Come on.
They've done it already, Dallas. What are we talking about? They've already done this. Joe Kelly has gone 3 innings in an outing. You've had Eduardo Rodriguez as a starter. They have guys that can give you lengthy appearances, but I don't think that Alex Cora is going to do that. If he needs, in the unlikely scenario where you have, I mean, the David Price outing, an inning and 2/3, was it? You had Joe Kelly go 3 innings, and then you sort of build it from there. You don't need more than one guy going 3 innings. Or at least more than one reliever going 3 innings in one start or one game. So, yeah, I mean, like, if you need that guy to do it, you have 2 guys to do it.
You take those guys that can give you the extended outings, though, Carrabis, and now you can divvy up those 3 innings or those 9 outs over the course of 2 days or that 3-game stretch down here in L.A. So now you've got guys that you know can give you length. If you don't need them lengthwise, now they have the ability to give you 1 1/3, 1 2/3 back-to-back days. They have 3 guys down there that can give you or fill those roles. And I don't know that the Red Sox are as confident in their guys filling those roles. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I'm still going advantage Dodgers with the bullpen, but I think a lot of people are just sleeping on how good the Red Sox bullpen has been. Like, you look at the overall numbers, but you're kind of, they're skewed by...
Dirty Craig better finish shit out.
No, he already did. Don't worry about that. Shout out Dodgers Cy Young Award winner Eric Gagne for fixing Craig Kimbrell. I really appreciate that. It was his biggest contribution to the fucking Red Sox in a season where he actually won a World Series. By the way, I think, like, as I was saying, with the Red Sox bullpen, the numbers are a little bit skewed because you've had Eduardo Rodriguez has been trash, unreliable. You have, I forget who the other guy was. There's one other guy that hasn't pitched well, and it's skewed the overall numbers. But when you look at guys like Matt Barnes, Ryan Brazier, Craig Kimbrell, I mean, Craig Kimbrell's numbers have skewed it, to be honest with you. I still like that, but Joe Kelly's been really good. Workman has been okay. So I'm still confident in this Red Sox bullpen. I give the nod to the Dodgers. I understand that you've made a bunch of valid points. Kenta Maeda, I loved him in the regular season coming out of the bullpen. He was a big X factor for the Dodgers down the stretch. But when it comes to big boy time, when you need to get big outs, Matt Barnes has gotten them. Joe Kelly has gotten them. Ryan Brazier has gotten them. The narrative that this Red Sox bullpen is trash and that they can't win a World Series with this bullpen, it's false. It's false.
We're about to find out.
We are about to find out. So that being said, prediction time, Dallas. You have clung to your terrible, terrible prediction that the Dodgers are winning this series in 5 games.
Yeah, Kershaw's going game 1, and then Kershaw's going to drive the nail in the coffin, game 5 here in L.A.
That's just wrong. It's just fucking...
No. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Clayton Kershaw is riding the pale horse onto victory, Carrabis. Here he comes. Let's go. World Series MVP, Jared. My nuts are on the line. Let's go, Kershaw.
I feel like we need to on this because I know that you're too smart to actually believe that the Dodgers win this in 5 games. So let's test how much you actually believe your pick. We're gonna put something on the line. We'll determine it. Actually, tweet us. What should the wager be? If the Dodgers don't win this series in 5 games, what should Dallas have to do? Tweet me. Tweet Starting 9. Tweet Dallas. Tag us all. Tag Jay Hay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But that is a bullshit pick. Red Sox in 6. I respect the Dodgers. I saw what the Red Sox did to the Yankees, dismissed them. I saw what they did to the Astros, dismissing them in 5 games. I'm not going to say that carries into the World Series. I still think that the Dodgers have a great bullpen. They have a great rotation. They have a great lineup. They're just not as good as the Red Sox, but I think that's why it'll be such a good series. I think it goes 6.
That's right.
The Red Sox get it done in 6. World Series champs again. Can't wait.
We'll see about it, Carrabis. We'll see about it. We're going to have you out here in L.A.?
I don't know. I mean, if you'll have me, I'd love to be there.
Come on, buddy. Come on. I'm cleaning the room up tonight.
Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Starting 9. We'll see you Tuesday for Game 1 of the World Series. Red Sox, Dodgers. Let's fucking go.